Welcome to the highly anticipated podcast. I'm your host, Josh Raphael. I got with me today, co-host Tyler Pouncey, Will Young, and I got a special guest today, my boy Wilvins. How you doing, my guy?
My God, bro. Appreciate you for having me.
We've been trying to get Wilvins on the pod for a minute now. This ain't just any special guest, that man be having some takes for y'all, so I had to bring him on. But of course, you a Heat fan, right?
Of course. Rapping in.
So
I'm
you
born
gonna love
954.
this episode then. So first thing I think I want to talk about is let's talk about your Heat. How you feeling after game one?
I couldn't feel any better. You know? Down 0-1. Down 0-1. I think that's possibly the greatest 0-1 to ever be in history. My shooter, Max Strus, went 0-9. Jimmy, 13 on 13 shots. And we lived with Bam taking all the shots. So I think we're right where we want to be. Right where we want to be.
Is there anything like you feel like they could do better?
I think we got outcoached, like despite playing and missing shots, I think the Nuggets were better prepared for us. I think that's on the Heat personally, I think we should have beat the Celtics in four, had the same time to prepare. You feel me? It was a quick
Yeah.
turnaround, Spo and them just came in the gym and they ate us a lot, but on the game two tonight.
No, I feel you. What about you, Ty? How you feel about that series after game one?
I can agree with him. You can say like the Nuggets needed everything right to happen. Like your two most, I guess you can call Cody or Caleb Martin a role player the way he been playing in the playoffs. So like you wouldn't expect him to play like that, but they both him and Strus shot what like 3 for 15 or something like that. It was some crazy shooting number where they both couldn't hit nothing, and then Jimmy had an off game and they didn't get beat that bad. So, like you said, that's when he first said that's the greatest 0-1, I was like, but then he kind of explained it. It's definitely true because if you lose, what they lose by like 9, so you're in a good spot. I mean, I kind of expected them to lose that game. Like he said, they had to turn around quicker than the Nuggets did with sweeping the Lakers, so they're in a good spot with being down 0-1 and after losing that game, in my opinion.
And you will? Or Will Young? So we got two Wills.
I mean, regardless, to be fair, regardless whether or not the Heat should feel good about themselves, which they should going into the second game. Obviously, they had a pretty good fourth quarter, and like you said, everything like happened wrong or right for the Nuggets for them to win. But regardless, the Nuggets are not going to play as bad as they played. Like they still like the Heat play bad, but at the same time, the Nuggets also played really bad. Like even the shots that y'all were missing was like good shot selections, open shots. So they're not going to play like that again. So either way, I think the Heat are going to play a lot better, but I also think the Nuggets are going to play a lot better, and the Nuggets are just a better team. So the outcome is what it is. Like Nuggets going to win regardless. It don't matter.
Kind of piggybacking off like Ty and Wilvins. Like Tyler said, when you said it was like the greatest 0-1, I kind of was a little bit, but then as you explained it, kind of made a little more sense. I mean, personally, I don't think the Nuggets played terrible. I mean, I honestly thought they flowed pretty well. I mean, they played a lot of good actions. Jokic honestly played. He looked like he was playing at 60%, which is honestly scary because he ended up with a 27-point triple double. But then again, when two of your, I don't want to say main pieces, but I mean, you could say main pieces because of this postseason, but like Caleb Martin and Max Strus, I mean, when they combined for what Tyler said, like 3 for 15, it might have been worse than that. It might have been like 2 for 19 or something. But like, you're not going to win games because the Heat clearly have relied on them to make it this far. But this goes back to kind of a point that I made a while back. I really do think as much as you do need your bench, this is where the stars have to shine. And Jimmy was not a star. I mean, he wasn't playing like a star. He was playing like, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but he wasn't as assertive as he normally is. And the Jimmy that we know him to be. I mean, we literally were saying he was the best player in the postseason earlier. So he wasn't playing like that. I'm not sure if, like Tyler said, it's maybe the quick turnaround and got to get adjusted to the altitude, etc. But if he doesn't come out and beat Jimmy for the next however many games in this series, the Heat will either get swept or lose in 5, gentlemen sweep. So, I mean, I think the Heat played really bad. I don't think they'll do that again. But Jimmy got to be Jimmy. If he's not Jimmy, then yeah, they're chips. Which kind of makes me go to our next thing in terms of like prediction. I kind of gave mine a little bit, but Wilvins, what do you think the prediction is for the Nuggets Heat?
I think it's going to be a long series. I definitely think it's going to come down to home court advantage. Nuggets haven't lost on their home floor. I think if Miami can still win in the Nuggets, still game 2 maybe tonight, my prediction would be Heat in 6. I don't want to play the Nuggets on their floor for game 7. That the altitude factors like the fans, home court cooking. Me personally, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Heat in 6.
What about you, Will Young?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go. Definitely not Heat. It's just a matter of when the Nuggets are gonna win. Me personally, I would probably say, you know what? I really don't want to disrespect the Heat. Like a part of me wants to say Nuggets in 5, but I think the Heat will win 1. But they're just Heat are a gritty team. I think they showed that. So I'm gonna say Nuggets in 6. I'm gonna give the Heat 2 games. Like barely though. Barely 2.
What about you, Ty?
Nuggets in 4. You go ahead, Josh.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I'm not even, bro, who's gonna guard Jokic? Who's gonna guard Jamal Murray? And the way Aaron Gordon was cooking in the first quarter, you got what do you have, like 15 in the first quarter? That's already a head start right there.
He had 12 in the first quarter, and we adjusted. He finished with 16 in the game. So after the first quarter,
but if Murray
adjusted where we put Jimmy Butler on him, and he only had 4 points for the rest of the game. I anticipate the Heat being way more prepared this game to limit the matchups, the mixed matches. I think Jimmy will start off on Aaron Gordon. I think we'll find a way to force Michael Porter to shoot tougher shots than he did in the first game. I mean, it's all about matchups, and I think the Heat will, they'll counteract.
Yeah.
But Michael Porter shoot tough shots regardless. Like he
exactly.
only shoots tough shots. Like that's his thing, bro.
And that's the thing though. He shot 2 of 11 from 3 last game. Yeah. If he's gonna shoot that many tough shots, let's have him take 20. But we need to get the ball out of Jokic's hands. We need to get the ball out of Murray's hands and force. We need to force the other guys to beat us. If I think we can limit Jokic off to role playing, like not have him running the offense, not have him being so efficient. He shot 7 for 10 from the field and had 27 points. Can't have that. If we force Jamal Murray to be the playmaker, we'll be just fine. But we can't have Jokic handling the offense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Out of respect for you being a Heat fan, I'm not gonna say Nuggets in 4. Even though I want to say it after what I saw. But to Will Young's point, he kind of brought something up. The Heat are a gritty team. And that's the only reason I probably don't think they're going to get swept because, I mean, they're going to go out there and at least get 1. But if Jimmy isn't Jimmy, they're getting swept. Jimmy has to be the best player in the playoffs for the next however many games, whether that's 3, 4, that's as high as I'm going. He needs to be the best player to give you guys even a chance.
Every quarter, every minute.
Literally. Because
he's gonna play all 48 for sure.
Literally, he's just gonna have
every
to
step of the way in every aspect, he has to be the best player.
Caleb Martin and Max Strus should not be playing the way that they are, but bro, I mean, what did we expect? They're undrafted players playing in their first NBA finals. I mean, you guys have to understand, like, the lights get bright. They're going to get bright, and people don't understand that. That's not an excuse for them. They have no excuse to be shooting like that, especially Max Strus. He was wide open, and he couldn't make a shot. I don't know what rim he was looking at. So it's like, it was bad, but it's just like, this is where I said the stars got to be stars. And Jimmy, I don't know if he took the day off. He's still pretty confident, though. I mean, he coming on the press conferences, said we're going to be the first of 4. I like it, but he got to go out there and show us that. But I'm going to say Nuggets in 5. The gentleman's sweep. Heat going to take 1 at home. Heat going to take game 3. They losing tonight. They're going to take game 3. Nuggets win game 4, close it out in Denver. So that's where I'm going to go with that one. But as we're kind of on this Nuggets Heat topic, Aaron Gordon has been in the news a lot lately. I mean, A lot. And for his play too, he's been playing pretty well this postseason. But he said something, and I'm curious as to what you guys feel about that. Essentially, he was saying, like, heading into this series, that Jimmy was the most complete player that he guarded in the playoffs so far. Mind you, I'm gonna name a couple players that he's guarded in the playoffs. Anthony Edwards, LeBron, sometimes AD, Kevin Durant, sometimes Devin Booker. But he said that Jimmy was the most complete player that he guarded, like that he thinks he's gonna guard because it was before they played. Wilvins, what do you think about that?
Oh, I don't know. That one's tough for me. You know, I personally won't agree with that. But go ahead and give me MJ, son. Jimmy Butler is who we all want him to be. He is who we want him to be. Averaging 31, 6 and 5. He can get to the line. He shoots mid ranges. He's taking you to the rack. And then when he shoots that timeless three, he's only shooting about 4 threes a game. He's gonna make.
So you think Jimmy was a more complete player in the playoffs than like Kevin Durant or Devin Booker or even LeBron?
Complete player, I want to say for sure. Jimmy, the difference between Jimmy and all those players, Jimmy has been tasked to do it all. You know, Anthony Edwards just had to score. You know, he had Cat to rebound, he had Gobert to defend. LeBron, you know, we wanted LeBron to do a little bit of everything, but it's not like he was out there getting 8 boards and 8 assists. You know, we needed LeBron to give us a healthy load of 20, 22, which was the lowest he's ever had to do. KD, you know, was just not KD this postseason. He just wasn't, you know. A lot of mid-range shots, you know, a lot of inefficient play. It just well-rounded. Jimmy Butler had no faults in his game, you know, besides lacking the three-point volume, not shooting the three ball is enough. If that's what you want to count as not complete. But Jimmy has guarded the best player. Jimmy has made shots when shots needed to be made. Jimmy has gone through the first seed, the second seed, all as the underdog, and now he's back at the first seed again. I completely agree with Aaron Gordon. He can make that argument every day of the week.
What you think, Wilvins? I said Wilvins, Will Young.
Honestly, I was agreeing with you up until like the last end of that when you start talking about KD. But if we're talking about, because I think he made like 2 comments. Like he said, like who was the harder player to guard, and then who was the more complete player. So if we're talking like complete, 100%, you got to give that to Jimmy. And that's tough. I think I'll say complete, not really just in like the statistical sense, because if you compare the numbers, I think KD averaged more points, just as many assists, just as many rebounds. So if not more in one of those categories, I think maybe rebound. But regardless of that, I think Jimmy's overall impact is felt, obviously, like you said, Wolf, into the ability to pass, set teammates up. Not saying that like KD or whatever is like unable to do that, or any of the other players that he's guarded is unable to do that. But for this playoff specifically, I think Jimmy's impact has definitely been felt more. I think he's made his teammates better more than the others. And so I give him that for complete player, definitely. But if Aaron Gordon, I think he said like the first time, like who was harder, like he was the hardest player he had to guard yet. That's kind of crazy. I'm not going to jump out here and say Jimmy's harder to guard. He's been the most complete player, but harder to guard is kind of, that's a wild statement to me. But that's kind of.
And what statement though? Like, is he saying like overall? Just he said that in terms of this postseason, or is he saying that just in general?
He said this postseason, the hardest player he's had to guard is Jimmy, and so. Or
is that a crazy take then? Because Jimmy's been playing out of his mind.
I agree. Like I think all props to Jimmy. Jimmy's been playing absolutely incredible. Like I said, his impact both on the offensive and defensive end, but offensively, his ability to set up teammates, his scoring ability. He's going at you. He's getting to the cup. He's getting to the free throw line, like you said, Williams. All of those things. But in terms of harder to guard, I don't know. I just view it differently. Like, regardless of how great Jimmy's playing, if I'm stepping on a court and Jimmy is hypothetically on the same team as KD, I'm not looking at Jimmy and going, he's harder to guard. Even if Jimmy's playing absolutely spectacular, it's just the fact that KD's ability, like his size, his skill set, gives him the ability to pop off at any given moment on any given night. Even if he's not, like you said, like he hasn't played, I don't think, to the level of Jimmy this postseason. But Williams, bro, you look.
I don't understand. You're contradicting yourself. He
Okay,
has not played to the same level.
How?
Listen. Before you go on a tangent, let me talk.
I'm listening.
If someone who has been playing at a higher level, we're not talking about a body of work. That's what you're getting wrapped up in, the body of work. Overall, historically, yeah, maybe a player could have been harder to guard. But we're talking about today, 2023.
Today, I'm still not saying, bro, even if Kevin Durant isn't making like a high volume of shots, he's still a harder player to guard, though. Like
that's not right.
You can't say just because a guy is playing very well that he's just harder to guard. Like, okay, let me try to break down this because I can see how that could get confusing. Say we playing like pick or whatever, and you going and you playing Duncan Robinson, going against Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson pops off, has like 8 threes on your head. Oh my God, like he killing you, bro. You go and guard. Next game, you go and guard KD, and he goes, I don't know, like he scores maybe a couple buckets, but real inefficient. Just because of his inefficiency, you're probably not gonna say in that time, you could, based off your like what you're saying, you would say, oh, Duncan's a harder player to guard right now. But you're not gonna say that. You're gonna say even though KD was missing his shots, he's difficult to guard because of his skill, because of his current skill set.
I don't think like KD is definitely probably the hardest player to guard in NBA history. Like, I think the thing is they're trying to say like this postseason, like in terms of
now. Yes, I'm saying now.
It's just like from how Jimmy was, and this goes back to Wilvins' point, where he's just like Jimmy was kind of tasked to do a lot more than every single one of those players that we named. Like, granted, KD probably shot a little bit better, probably had like a 1 or 2 rebounds more, but KD wasn't tasked the way that Jimmy was tasked. So it's like you got to look at those numbers and you got to kind of put like a little asterisk by Jimmy because it's like, this man had to do more. I mean, he had to do everything for that team. So like, I mean, I get it. I mean, Kevin Durant is 7 foot, can shoot from 40, can handle the rock. I understand. Yeah, that's harder to guard. But if you look at this postseason, just what Jimmy is doing, like it's like he's just in a different planet, like right now. Like he is. I mean, they're the 8th seed in the finals. They took down the Bucks. I don't even want to count the Knicks series because I feel like they're going to beat them regardless. And then took down the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and all the pieces that they got. So it's like, man, like you really probably have to be, I don't want to say have to, but like you got to be at least in the conversation for a hardest player to guard in the postseason.
Oh,
well, this postseason, because it's like, where are you playing out your mind? You know what I mean? So it's like, I get it. We're both sides. I get where you're coming from because like the Duncan analogy was a good analogy, but I don't think like they meant it like that just in terms of just this postseason. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of how I see it.
Like I said, the argument is fair because of the way Jimmy's been playing. That's why I said
it's not fair. Facts. It's facts. It's not. Don't say it's fair.
No, I gave Jimmy his props. I said he was the most complete player. What do you mean? I agree with you. I said he's the most complete player in this postseason. I just didn't say he's tougher to guard than Kevin Durant. That's all I'm saying.
So you're not agreeing. I need you to agree. I don't want you to. There's no but at the end of that sentence.
I'm agreeing.
Listen, you're saying you're saying I concur. You're saying I concur, but there's no but. Take away the but. You can't say I agree, but
he can't be the most complete player though. He can't he's the most impactful player. There's a difference, but he's not the most complete player.
Who?
not that went through this whole Jimmy. He's the most
In this
impactful.
postseason?
He's the most impactful. There's a difference between complete and impactful.
What's your definition of complete?
What's your definition of complete?
Doing like you can do complete. You like Will said, you can't like he's not better than KD. He wasn't like we seen what Jokic did all playoffs. Definitely not more complete. Well, obviously Aaron Gordon ain't guarding Jokic, but like
Yeah. I think we're just talking about the most complete player that Aaron Gordon's had to guard. If we're talking about most complete player, like in general.
But y'all saying in the whole like, oh, I thought y'all saying in the whole playoffs. I was gonna say,
But even then, like he's up there though. Like he's arguably the most. Because when I think of complete, I think of someone that's doing everything.
Everything.
I mean, that's
Everything.
literally from.
one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Jokic,
clearly it's Jokic, but I'm saying like he's in the conversation. You can't just say Jimmy's not at all in the conversation.
And we're also talking about who Aaron Gordon had to guard.
Because think about it, Jokic
fit the criteria.
But Jimmy Butler's the most complete in the playoffs. That's what I kept hearing. That's why I just.
But
that's why
it's in the conversation because this is what I. Sorry to cut you off, Will, but this is kind of how I see it. Like Jokic, to me, probably is the most complete player. But you got to think about who he has with him. This man, if Jokic doesn't have a good game, Jamal Murray might mess around and give you 30. Then you got Aaron Gordon, who's tasked with the defensive, assignments. Then you got role players like Michael Porter Jr. hitting step back threes with 3 people in his face. Then you got KCP who wants to show up, but didn't want to play like that with the Lakers. But now he's over there. Now he's a sniper. So there's so many pieces on that team. Whereas Jimmy, aside from really when I'm not going to lie, Caleb Martin went crazy the past series, Jimmy has had to do everything from score to defend to play make. To me, that's why it's kind of like, I gotta like look at you a little different because it's like you don't got a Jamal Murray to fall back on. You don't got a Aaron Gordon that's going to be able to task with the defensive assignment. You don't got that. Realistically, Bam, let's be for real.
Listen.
Bam.
Don't say that name on this podcast again.
Disappears.
Bam
has not been consistent.
Don't say that name on that
Bam
podcast
has not
again.
been consistent this whole podcast.
He was the only one that appeared in game 1 though.
Yeah,
we're talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about the playoffs. Bam has been the most inconsistent player on that team.
You said he was Aaron Gordon was defense, and you act like Jimmy Butler ain't got another defender. Like Bam ain't all defensive team and
Bam wasn't guarding Jason Tatum.
Yeah,
Bam wasn't guarding Jaylen Brown.
Sorry, Jason Tatum.
That's my point, though. But in terms of who Jimmy Butler had to face, in terms of the dominant players, it was literally most likely forwards and guards that Bam didn't have to guard.
Yeah,
realistically.
But you was just just ignoring Bam. That's all I was saying.
I'm ignoring Bam. Bam has been inconsistent. Listen, I'm the only Heat fan. I'm the only Heat fan in the entire.
Bam has not been moving this postseason.
Bam to be your second. Listen. Look at all the great second pieces. AD, second piece, averaging 22 and 12. You got Jamal Murray averaging 25 and 8. You got Jaylen Brown averaging 25 and 6. Bam, you'll be lucky to get 15 and 8 from Bam every night. And that's us begging Bam to do that every night.
That's facts. But we know if Hero would be is a great second option. He's
not there though. That's a hypothetical.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. What are you saying?
Okay, but we're talking about this postseason. Tyler Hero hasn't played since what, game 1 in the first round?
Jaylen Brown, he can't even dribble with his damn left hand.
Okay, but he's been a better second option than anybody on the Heat has.
Not in that damn Heat series. He couldn't go left hand.
For the Heat, he's okay, bro. You're literally. Oh my God.
No,
he wasn't saying that when them boys was winning 3 straight.
But you're a Heat fan, right, bro?
Listen, you can't slander someone because they had a bad series. But for the other 2 series, he played out his mind. The Celtics series, he played out his mind.
Bro, there was, bro, because there was a point where we were like, we got to start having a conversation about if Brown is like Tatum, or at least like, bro, there was times where Tatum didn't show up. Jason Tatum didn't show up, and Jaylen Brown carried him to victory.
Wait, now you're talking about the finals last year, right?
Bro, no, I'm talking about this postseason. There was times Tatum was completely asleep. Like, he wasn't even there. Come on, bro. Aside from the one
Yeah,
game,
you can't make it seem like Tatum went absolutely dummy every single game. Like
Not every game, but
game.
think about Game 6.
In the first game, everybody's not gonna have a good game every game. Get that through your head. But if
all
I
right,
gotta
hold on. What are we? All right, let's bring it back because we're kind of getting out. Where are we arguing right now? What is the argument right now?
I brought up the second option thing, and he was disagreeing, saying that Bam wasn't doing nothing, and I'm like, he was the only one hooping.
Well, yeah, Bam is.
And then he brought up Jaylen Brown. I said, well, Jaylen Brown can't go left.
So who's a better second Who's a better second option this whole postseason? Was it Bam or Jaylen Brown?
That's a dumb question.
How?
What's the answer?
Obviously, it's Jaylen Brown, but he was going.
I was on scoop for a moment. I was like, what he gonna say?
So you just made it point, man. That's
Never mind. Y'all, we can go to the next.
Yeah, let's go to the next one because we're getting a little up that one.
All right, but hold on. Before we move on, the whole entire thing we were saying what the topic was. We were talking about who was more impactful, and we were talking about how
more complete player,
and we were saying how Jimmy just had to do more, and that's why he was a more complete player. You know, I think our argument serves that. His number 2 option doesn't show up every night. You know, there was a point in the playoffs where Jimmy was averaging 31 points per game. He was averaging 31, 8, and 6. That was before the ankle injury. Before the ankle injury.
Somebody else in the playoffs. But I ain't gonna say no names, but we can move on.
You said someone was averaging what?
You said who?
Somebody else before they got eliminated was averaging 36, but we can move on.
But they got eliminated.
That's fine.
I know who he's talking about. He's probably talking about D-Book.
Damn Skippy.
But it's like he got eliminated though. So it doesn't really matter. Like Jimmy could have been doing all this. We would never say he's the most complete player in the playoffs if he lost in the second round. I promise we wouldn't be talking about Jimmy right now.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
You said what?
I said you're playing more games, so you're gonna have more body of work to keep playing. I would assume.
You could even use the same body of work that he did. D-Book played 9 games in the postseason. They played 6 in the first round, and then they played 6. They played 12 games. You could even use the same amount of games, but he wasn't tasked to defend the best player every night. He wasn't tasked to run the offense. There's an argument.
Yeah, even D-Book is crazy as he was going in the first round and stuff. He wasn't the more complete player. D-Book's never going to be. When you even look at his,
you could say he's the best scorer.
Yeah, he's never was.
I didn't say he was more complete than Jimmy Butler. All I said was somebody was averaging 36. That's all I said.
I don't be like, why? Why do
you say that? But what's the purpose of that comment?
What's
the purpose?
Why you brought that up?
He was the best player so far, but y'all gonna say it was Jimmy, and because he defended.
He was not the best player. He was just scoring the most.
Complete. Not
that's what we're talking about. Complete. We didn't say best. If it's best, it's Jokic. If we talk about the best player,
Jokic, hands down.
It's Jokic. No question.
It's Jokic. Not even an argument. But complete, Jimmy plays both sides.
I just understand the argument because you were saying complete, and then I said I think Jimmy's the more impactful player. I'm not putting him as the more complete player. He's the more impactful because, like y'all said, huh?
What do you mean? I just don't get that. You said complete and impactful, but his impact. But this is what I'm saying. His impact. This is what I'm saying though. The reason why he's so impactful is because his game is complete. You can't.
Okay. all I said was okay.
Okay.
All right, look. All right, let's go to the next because this is it's I don't know what's going on right now.
But go to the next one.
All right, so let me just last thing. What was I about to say? So yes, I agree. Jimmy was the most complete player in the playoffs. Wilvins, what do you say?
100%.
Wilvins, do you think Jimmy was the most complete player?
Yeah.
In the playoffs. Okay. Will Young.
I believe he was a complete player. Yeah.
I think he's the most complete player Aaron Gordon's had to guard in the playoffs. Yes.
What about you, Tyler?
Yes, Aaron Gordon has had to guard. Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. Now we're all We're all in sync.
Are we
We're
all in
sync.
agreement? All right, perfect.
We're all in sync.
Now,
Another, since we're kind of was just talking about complete player. And I mean, this might be an easy answer, honestly. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it, but like, is Jokic the best player in the world? Like right now, like is he just honestly like? Let's take everything. Let's put everything in it. Not even just playoff, but honestly, like this season, I'm really just wondering, like how we make our ladders at the end of the year. Is he gonna be number one going into next year as the best player in the world? Start with you, Will. Young.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have to say he's the best player in the world. Yeah, I usually be quick to say Kevin, but I mean Jokic, and it's really honestly disrespectful that like I've overlooked. I mean, a lot of people have, but especially during the regular season, that I overlooked him so much as being the best player in the world. Obviously, what he does, like his impact, his being a complete player, points, rebound, assists, setting his teammates up. His efficiency is insane. His skill is really, I even still feel like it's underrated. Footwork is incredible. Touch around the rim is impeccable. All those things. It doesn't really seem at this point like he has like much of a weakness in his game. He's even an underrated rebounder because of obviously he doesn't have the athleticism, so he has to find ways to be creative and be in position to get boards. So with all that, yeah, I feel like you kind of got to say, yeah, especially now he's the best player in the world and going into next year, regardless of what happens this series, you got to say he's the best player in the world.
What about you, Tyler?
yeah, I mean, you can't really disagree with it. You got 2 MVPs. You really should have 3. But like, if he get this ring, like, where is he gonna be at amongst like all time centers? Like, if you really think about it, like, it's
Oh.
two MVPs and a title by how old is he? Like 28, 29?
I'm actually curious.
All that
I
under
think he's
30,
28.
huh?
I think he's 28.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's definitely under 30.
Soon, like if you throw him,
Yeah,
like,
he is 28.
if
Damn.
you throw him to like
28,
top 5 bigs, is that too soon?
I feel like top 5. I'll give him top 10 for sure. I
Top
already
10.
thought top 10 before they made it to the finals. But top 5, you got. Are we
If he
talking?
get, I'm saying he get the ring, like he get
It
rings.
just that's not a bad argument. It just sucks because it was 2 different eras of basketball. So it's like you would be comparing him to the likes of Shaq, Hakeem, Wilt, etc. But it's like they played completely different games. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's
Not necessarily, though.
I
If
don't
you
think he's anything near like Shaq. I mean, Shaq
No,
was just
not
so
like that.
dominant.
If you think of like Hakeem, like his footwork is on the same level as Hakeem.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of more like just ooh,
Hold up.
I
Hey,
don't know if his footwork was like Hakeem. Hakeem was different in the post. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I agree with Will. I agree with Will on that.
I
Jokic's
don't
footwork
know
is
though.
underrated.
No,
Footwork
it
is
is. It's but
underrated.
Hakeem was
I
like
agree with him about it being underrated, but nigga,
yeah,
Hakeem,
underrated. I don't.
bruh,
Hakeem was in a
Hakeem,
different.
bro,
I
if
need
you
to see
watch
more.
Jokic, bro, it's really close to the
Hakeem.
same level, bro.
No,
Bro,
no.
I don't know. Hakeem's crazy,
You
bro. I ain't gonna
He
lie.
is crazy.
clip this, Josh. Clip this.
Hakeem's crazy. I ain't gonna like. I see where you're coming. I see where you're coming from, though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like like Jokic is like I guess you could say footwork isn't good, but like it's underrated. I agree completely, but
Hakeem is
I
crazy.
don't know if it's on Hakeem's level yet. Let's say, how
Okay.
about that? I don't know if it's on his level yet.
I'll say it's close. It's close.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if it's there yet, but even yeah, I mean, yeah, Hakeem's footwork, like he's very agile, but I still don't think Jokic. I mean, I don't think Jokic, but like Jokic still like he can play outside. He can set up. I mean, bro, he's basically a point guard. 7 foot. So it's like I don't know if we've really seen bigs like that in terms of the top bigs that we consider in NBA history, like because the game's just so different. It really is your preference, honestly. I feel like, I mean, because Shaq, think about Shaq. Shaq was so dominant, but it's like you're never gonna see Shaq out there shooting threes or setting up his teammates. So it's like,
No.
like that kind of
though.
makes me bring another question. Like I'm actually curious now, and I'm gonna start with you, Williams, with this one. Is Jokic the more complete player than Shaq? Think about what we said. What complete
Of
was.
course, of
Okay.
course. And and we have to break it down because I don't think, obviously, in certain places, Shaq would kill Jokic. Like I think when it comes to back to the basket, I think Shaq hasn't beat. I think rim protection, Shaq hasn't beat. Like shot blocking, but if you put Shaq, I think Jokic has done a tremendous job at everything else. Like, passing, he has that. Shooting, he has that. You know, even in terms of like sliding, because this is a different era. Like, I think if you put Shaq in our time today, like, I would love to get a pick and roll with Shaq every time. Like, I'm attacking Shaq every time. Like, he go off the screen and tackle him. And if he's gonna pin me, he's gonna pin me. But I'm gonna make some type of action because Shaq wasn't as mobile to slide his speed. Jokic might be slow, but in this era, he's tasked to guard. Like there's 5 around the perimeter. You feel me? So when it comes to being more complete, I think Jokic is a more complete player. Dominant, I don't know. Jokic could kill you at 40, but Shaq was just going. You knew the drop step was coming. You couldn't stop it. Like you couldn't stop it. He was going to drop step you and have 15 for 18. So, but complete wise, I would take Jokic. I would take Jokic for sure.
How about you, Tyler?
That's facts. He explained it hella well too. So yeah, I agree. I mean, you could say more complete, but I mean, I feel like Shaq getting quick foul trouble if he had to guard Jokic. But you could say the same with Jokic too. Like it really just depends on who foul out first, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like he brought up the defense. I mean, I've been saying this when people put him against Embiid and stuff. I'm like, where Embiid plays defense, Embiid can't pass like Jokic. So it's just your preference. Like Woven said, it just depends on what you want. I know that's a hard pick though. That's a hard pick.
Yeah. About you, Will? Young.
Nah,
I'm just start calling you Willie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just start calling you Willie for this pod.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. Nah, I agree with both of y'all. Honestly, they dominate each other. It's really hard to. I mean, if I had to pick, obviously, like I'm me personally, I'm going Shaq. Not in terms of like dominance, more complete player, obviously, is going to be Jokic. But if Shaq played now, Shaq's going to kill him. And if Jokic played back, he's probably going to kill him too because he can't guard on the perimeter. So, and he's still going to have, if Shaq's going to sag off him, he's still going to be able to dime people up like he does now. So I think neither of their games would really change, honestly, and they would dominate each other. So, yeah. Nah,
I agree. More complete player, Jokic for sure, no question. But I mean, if I had to pick a player right now, I'm picking Shaq. He was just too dominant. Especially now they call every ticky-tack foul, but then Shaq will really have to work on his free throws because that man probably would be at the line 25 times a night. But more complete player for sure, Jokic, just because of the fact like he can play inside out, he could pass, play make. I mean, he does it all, and we don't really see 7-footers doing that as agile as he is. I mean, it's literally a point guard. Like it's crazy. Like it's really nuts that he can just do all that. But that would be real interesting to kind of see like just Shaq in today's era.
I got a question for you and Will Young. Since y'all both said y'all would pick Shaq over Jokic, whose game does Shaq most closely resemble to in today's game? Who do you think he would translate today if he was
in terms of like a superstar
or just
a
anybody?
superstar big?
Just a player.
Nah, he doesn't translate to any superstar big that I know right now because the game's changed. But then again, this is the thing. Here's how I see it. I see where you're coming from. Like, because for today's game, you probably think, yeah, Jokic is the clear answer. But it's like, you just got to think about, here's how I see, because the game has changed, right? It's clearly bigs play outside now. So it's like, bigs aren't used to banging in the paint in this era, right? In terms of Jokic, Embiid, etc. So it's like, imagine we throw prime Shaq, like you said, that does that drop step that is coming and you can't stop. And especially now, back then, they used to clothesline people and not get foul calls. So imagine now where you can't even touch anybody. This man Shaq, if you got his free throw right, literally was going to the line 25 times. Literally. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think Shaq can't dribble, even though I don't even think Giannis can dribble like that for real, but Shaq can't dribble like Giannis and do that. But I mean, what is Giannis's game? Literally just drive to the basket, put his head down. And that man averages like 30 and 10.
Y'all remember what James Harden said? He said, "What do you do? Run and dunk. That's all he
And
do."
they can't stop it. All you have to foul him. You have to foul Giannis. And he's been averaging 30 for the past, or 28 plus for the past 3-4 seasons. I don't even know. Clearly led them to an MVP.
You could say Shaq's game resembles Embiid though, from like the physical aspect, because he's the only. Because when Embiid plays inside, you know he's getting to the foul line.
Yeah.
Probably gonna score. He's rarely gonna.
But here's the thing. Sorry, Tyler. But here's the thing. Here's what I think though. Shaq would have to be on the team with shooters. If he's on a team with people that cannot shoot, if he's on a team with then I'm not gonna lie, he's chips. Respectfully, because they're literally just gonna double the paint every single time. They could kick it out all they want, but if they can't shoot, them boys just it's wraps. Now, if he's on a team like, obviously, I don't think it wouldn't even be fair if I say like Golden State, but like a team with formidable shooters that at least one or two players that can just hit outside shots, then it's like you're leaving him one-on-one in the paint, no one's guarding him. So, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay, I got one more question before y'all move on.
Yeah.
Who would y'all rather? Which team would be better if you had Shaq on this team now or Jokic on that team? I'll say the 01 Lakers when they had everybody.
Yeah. You said Shaq on which team?
On the Nuggets, on this Nuggets team.
Shaq on this Nuggets team or Jokic?
Shaq on this Nuggets team and Jokic on the Lakers in 01. Who would you rather? Which team would be better in your opinion?
I mean, that's actually kind of crazy question. Well, damn, I don't know if I don't know. Actually, I think Shaq would really work on this Nuggets team because they could shoot the lights, they could shoot the pills. So it's like, I mean, the game was so physical back then, and I mean, Kobe had the ball literally every single play. I mean, so it's like, I don't know. This might be a crazy one, but I'd probably rather Shaq on this Nuggets team because of the fact that they can spread the floor. And imagine Shaq against Bam. Imagine Shaq, prime Shaq against Bam right now. So I would take Shaq on this Nuggets team over Jokic on the 01-02 Lakers team.
I'm had to disagree because you gotta. I get what you're saying from like shooters.
No, wait. Well, yo, before you go, I just need to make a point real quick. Are we talking about just for this, like for 1 year, or like we talking about like
for
a couple years?
Oh,
if it's a couple years, I'm changing my answer.
No, just like if it was just if they went head up, if y'all if they switched.
Oh, if they went head up, I gotta take Lakers.
If they switched.
My fault. I gotta take Lakers. If they went head up, if them boys playing each other, I'm taking the Lakers.
If the Nuggets with Shaq and the Lakers with Jokic was playing in like a best of 7.
Oh, Lakers winning. Kobe wasn't losing.
The Lakers are gonna win that easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that team they three-peated for a reason.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys.
Definitely more talent now, but that's true though. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but both y'all answers were crazy. Any of y'all would take Shaq on the Nuggets. First of all, you put Shaq on the Nuggets, y'all boys. They're probably not even in. They're probably not even in the finals. Honestly,
that's facts. I was just gonna say that, bro.
Getting rid of Jokic. Don't get me wrong. Shaq is 4, but Jokic is the anchor of the team. Like don't get me wrong. Jamal Murray is the point guard, but I really feel like he's more like off-ball guard. Like don't get me wrong. Like they label him as the point guard, but Jokic is the one running the offense.
No, you're right.
They're not running through.
I was thinking it of more. I was thinking it of more of like this finals. Like that's what I was thinking of it more.
Even this finals though.
This finals, Shaq is killing Bam.
Who's like Bruce Brown? They're not gonna eat like that if Jokic isn't.
Yeah.
Facilitating
to them.
Facts.
They're not hitting cut. Like half of those dudes' points are coming off of cuts, coming off of just
back doors. Good action. Because
Yeah,
actually, where
facts,
they're
facts.
doubling him and he's making the right pass, right read, you put Shaq in those reads on the elbow. No, man, it's going to the third stand. He's turning that John over.
Yeah, nah, I agree. But kind of like, does anyone have any more other questions before I kind of move on to the last thing? Are we good? All right, then. So our last thing is kind of like a little list that's been going around. It's like a start, bench, cut, and I'm actually intrigued with it. So basically, it starts, bench, cut, Tracy McGrady, Jimmy Butler, or Carmelo Anthony.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna
All,
start
all prime?
with, huh?
Is it all prime? Like
Yeah, I'm
injury?
assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming prime.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with Tyler on this one. Start, bench, cut, Tracy McGrady, Jimmy Butler, Carmelo Anthony. Go.
T-Mac, Melo, Jimmy.
Start T Mac, bench
Yep.
Melo, cut Jimmy.
That order.
All right. Will Young, who are you? Start, bench, cutting Tracy,
It's tough.
Jimmy, or Carmelo.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna have to agree with Tyler on this. Start T Mac, bench Melo, cut Jimmy. Sorry, love Jimmy though, but gotta cut.
That's the only answer.
Wilvins.
Oh man, I hate being the odd one out. It's not typically like me. Like I typically like to just go with the wave, but I gotta respectfully disagree. I'm gonna go ahead and start MJ's son. Go ahead and give me Jimmy Butler.
whoa. You see, I didn't know you was gonna do that. I didn't know you was gonna do that. I didn't know you was gonna do that. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead and give me Jimmy buckets. I need him starting, no doubt. I'm gonna go ahead and take Tracy off the bench, and I gotta go ahead and cut my main man Melo. But y'all hear me out though before y'all judge me. Jimmy has proven him as his number one option. He's gonna take you far. This is his third Eastern Conference Finals in 3 out of 4 years. His second NBA Finals. Melo couldn't even get the Knicks out the first round. Listen, I'm trying to win games. I'm trying to win games. Listen, Melo's gonna score his 28. Melo's gonna give you the buckets, but it doesn't always translate to winning. And I love Carmelo. I'm a Carmelo stan, but I can't go with that. And McGrady is just a specimen. He's 6'9". He could move however he wanted to move. I have to give him that attribute. But Jimmy, give me Jimmy over both of them any day of the week. Jimmy's just too proven. Jimmy can lead teams. Jimmy has shown his leadership, and I think that I would put my.
We lost that.
Did you cut?
But, yeah.
Oh, you cut off a little bit. No, but I hear you. Nah, I hear you. It's just what was I about to say? I'm gonna go. I'm a little different from Tyler and Will Young too. I ain't gonna start Jimmy though. I ain't gonna start him. But you kind of made a point, Will, that kind of resonated with me a little bit. I'm gonna start Tracy for sure because Tracy was different. I think a lot of people really forgot how good Tracy McGrady was, but that man was crazy. So I'm gonna start Tracy, and I did want to bench Melo. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but you're right. Like Jimmy really, he's brought the Heat to the finals twice. So it's like clearly Melo couldn't even do that with the Knicks. Don't get me wrong, Melo a buck. He a buck. But if you want to kind of go far, obviously it's kind of proven that Jimmy will take you farther than Carmelo would. So if it's me making my team, I'm gonna bench Jimmy just off the sheer aspect that Melo's never carried a team to the finals. Let alone I don't even know if he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
He is a winner.
So I got to give Jimmy kind of the edge on that just a little bit. That's just really looking at from a team aspect. We're looking at the individual player. Melo's torching Jimmy. Respectfully, Melo in his prime is torching Jimmy.
Respectfully.
But but I would for sure. I would bench Jimmy and cut Melo. That would be mine.
I'm gonna switch my answer.
But
Rubens made a good point about not making it. Yeah, I forgot Melo couldn't do nothing in the playoffs. Yeah, let me bench Jimmy and cut Melo. I ain't even think about
I
that.
get it, but
yeah,
I disrespect Melo though. I get y'all. Come on now.
There's no disrespect, bro. It's just
That's a fact. He made it to the finals. Jimmy done made it to 2 in the past 3 seasons. So
yeah.
4 seasons. 4 seasons. 2 in the last 4 seasons.
That's the fact for real. None of them gonna ring, so you can't really
Carmelo.
say, "Oh, one's not." So but I'm still benching
Yeah.
Jimmy though. Jimmy, I got Jimmy, and I'm cutting Melo.
I respect y'all for coming to the lake. Coming to the lake.
But that's gonna be enough. That's gonna be all the time we got today. Let me cue the outro music real quick so we can kind of get it going. I hope you guys liked this NBA episode. I know I keep saying we gonna talk about NFL. I know we tripping. We going to though. NFL, we gonna start talking a little bit about some track and field. So yeah, we're gonna start throwing out some different kind of sports for y'all. My guest Wilvins, I appreciate you coming on, man. Like, it's always an honor to have you. You added a little more entertainment today, so appreciate you. My co-host Tyler, Will, appreciate y'all always. We gonna be back, not next week. I ain't gonna be here, so probably like 2 weeks. But we'll be back with another episode for y'all.
We're not gonna tell you where. That's private life.
But we out, man. Appreciate y'all.